just outside Hornsby Park. There's a picnic being held in the park today. A couple of groups that support the resettlement of African and Muslim refugees in Australia. So we want to ask them a couple of serious questions because we know the problems that resettling refugees has already created in Australia. It's been a complete disaster. There's a group down here called Grandmothers Against Children in Detention, and apparently there's a few people from the Refugee Council of Australia. But this event was advertised weeks ago. Apparently there were going to be a lot of people here, but what we've heard is there's only a few people in the park. But we'll still go and ask them a few questions. So come and join us in the park and we'll see how we go.
And
do you want polygamy in Australia? Do you want polygamy?
And no knowledge of the facts.
Oh really? So we had man monarchs. We had man monarchs. We had man monarchs. What about the human rights of Australians to say no?
There's a difference between the legal system and Sharia law.
Yeah, that is a legal system, though. And the Muslims see it as a legal system and an ethical system. But if you accept Islam into your community, you accept mosques and also you accept Sharia law.
No, I don't.
But that's what they want. If you ask Muslims...
There are Muslims in this country and
yes.
there are no Sharia law.
But if you go to a mosque, they've got imams there and they go and ask the imams or get consultation from the imams about making decisions on Islamic law. If you care to go to Western Sydney, you'll see women in burqas, you'll see women in niqabs.
Why none of your women talking? None of the females.
Well, under Islamic culture, they've got their second-class citizens, so they can't talk.
This is Australian
they
culture,
can't talk.
they can talk.
But under Islam, they're second-class citizens.
But they're not living here.
But they're still, women are seen as second-class citizens in Islam.
That'll change.
But when has it changed over the last 1400 years?
It's changing. I mean, look at Dubai, look at UAE, look at Abu
Oh,
Dhabi.
really? Dubai?
Look at Saudi Arabia.
You know, you've got women over there, Western women have gone on holidays and they've been raped, and they're the ones that have been punished and prosecuted, not the men.
Not in Dubai, I haven't
yes,
seen
they have.
Yeah. You're a travesty.
You're a traitor. You're a traitor.
Traitor to your people, traitor to your country.
Honestly. Not even concerned about your grandchildren, what's going to happen in the future.
How dare you say that we're not concerned about our grandchildren?
If you were, you wouldn't be advocating for open borders.
That's your opinion, not mine.
Yeah, well, why bring them in?
You wouldn't be advocating for bringing honestly.
We're not afraid.
Okay, how much do you value your clitoris?
Sorry.
How much do you value your clitoris? Do you know how many?
You offensive piece of work.
Let me tell you, do you know how many FGM cases there were in Australia? And there was only one conviction. Do you know how many FGM cases that were reported in Australia?
You have someone the fixation on this.
I haven't got a fixation.
And you want more
I've
Muslims?
had enough with these people.
Well, FGM is part of Islam.
Doing something. Thank you.
Why do you think that things will be different here than they are in Europe?
Go and dress up somewhere else, people.
On the other side of the border.
You know what's happening in Europe?
Oh, I know
Europe's being invaded by Muslims and all the social problems, the cases of rape, the welfare dependency. Why would we want that?
Somewhere else.
Because truth hurts, doesn't it? When you're confronted with the honesty, the problems of
Do
Islam.
you think if we believed what you believe, we would be doing what we do?
No, but we live in a democracy,
yeah.
and we like to talk to people
You
that
do like to
support open borders and ask them some serious questions. Why
We
you
don't
support
believe in
borders.
open borders.
But you do. You support a refugee
you should.
program. Well, how many people should we
Excuse
accept?
me, you never even asked what we believe.
How many people should
You
we accept
never
annually?
believed. You never asked.
You support the resettlement of refugees in Australia.
We support the removal of all children from detention.
Where are they going to go?
What's those children in detention?
They'll be then following
So their parents, those little
human
jihadis,
No,
one day they're going to grow up to be big jihadis like me and Monis, like Farhad
you.
Jabbar, like 15-year-old, went and murdered Curtis Chang.
In cold blood?
It was.
We've had 4 terrorist
No,
attacks
it's not
just recently, and they're all Islamic.
By
We
age
should be
14, 15,
concerned.
they're radicalised. By like 15, they're radicalised.
How disgusting.
Well, you can't handle the truth.
Truth
He
hurts.
does.
But
So-
it
but
is,
not
you
well,
know, you have
though.
to accept the truth, and you just go to Western Sydney and feel for those poor Aussies out there that have seen their neighbourhoods change and turn into ghettos.
If you're a representative of what your group is saying,
We're the future, and we're here today. We want to share
It's a
cultural
very
diversity with
frightening
you.
future.
I know, it is a very
Yes,
frightening
embrace
future. Absolutely.
Islam. Embrace
That's why
Sharia law.
Do you feel culturally enriched yet? Do you feel
I
culturally
can see on the shirt there.
Yeah.
Yeah, hurts. Australia is changing, the demographics are changing rapidly, and supporting Muslim immigration is genocide, is absolute death sentence. Sorry?
Do let her out sometimes.
Yes.
No, she's a woman in Islam, they're not allowed to speak. We're just showing you
Can
cultural
you see
diversity.
us? We're the future.
We're the
showing you
future.
Cultural diversity.
No, your grandchildren are the future, and they're going to have to deal with changing
Idiots
demographics.
like you.
No,
Well, you can't handle the
We're the
truth.
least of their worries. Actually,
No,
we're fighting for their protection, while you're calling for open borders.
Rational.
Why do you support the Islamic
Ignorant,
invasion? Why do you,
uneducated,
most of our refugees come through the
illogical,
United Nations.
stupid.
Are you a Muslim?
Hmm?
Are you a Muslim?
I'm a fake Muslim, yeah.
Oh, great.
I had a bit of pork last
and
night.
you actually
Yeah.
believe
Made a few.
I'm allowed to marry 4 wives under
This is
Islam.
reverse psychology. We're bringing the future to you today.
This is reverse. This is discrimination. What you're doing.
How you mean?
Pretending
What
to be
this?
people.
What? So telling the
We're
truth is.
sharing the diversity. We want you to sort of celebrate cultural diversity.
Open borders
You
is the
look
highest form of
interesting in a
discrimination.
dress.
So telling the truth
Oh,
is
racist.
discrimination, is it?
Islam's problem is that the parents put their
And we've
children
had
in
enough.
Go
detention.
away.
We're more than happy to go
Parents
away,
are
but you don't care about your
fleeing
grandchildren or the children of
What
the
would you
future.
do with your family if bombs are raining down on you?
Well, maybe for starters, Muslims could stop fighting
No,
each
I'm
other.
asking you a
Maybe
question.
that's an
You know
idea.
nothing.
No,
I
you
would
stand up and
stand there
fight.
and
I'm a woman and I'm
But when you've
allowed
got
to
men,
speak.
when
Will you
you've got
stop
men
talking
invading
over the
Europe,
top of me?
when 70% of them are men, they're rocking up to Germany
Some of you
and to
guys
other
will have to
countries,
listen to
and
him
there's no
because he won't
children.
actually- he's just
There's no
talking over
children. But think about your children and your grandchildren and what the future holds for them. That's genocide.
Yes, it is.
It's genocide.
And
We
you're-
are losing our identity.
It's a pity you have no knowledge,
We are losing
no
our identity. I'm
education,
glad
no
you agree that
background.
it is genocide. We're losing our identity, but we'll leave you in peace. Common sense needs to go into this debate, and when people go around and have a look at Sydney, they can use their own observation and see the culture and the demography is changing, and we're losing our identity with everything's going on with Islam and Africans coming in and also other people. So it's time that we've got to close the borders. We've got to stop Muslim immigration.
And you'll
We've got to
notice
stop
how
African-
emotional they got when we confronted them with the cold hard truth. See, with lefties they're driven by emotion, not facts. And when you confront them with the truth, it strikes a nerve. As you said, it's speechless. They just